something I haven't done in a really long time, and that is go live on YouTube, Facebook, or any of those other things. But we're going to try this. We're going live today just for a short period of time to show you a local SEO audit for a home care website. So, home care website, local SEO audit. We are going to show you what happens with your content, what happens with your visibility, and how your home care website design can determine if you actually show up on the first page of Google for any of your keyword phrases. So I've taken a couple of looks at this website. It's a beautiful website, but we're going to show everybody here how things can be improved with this website to get to the first page of Google. So here we are. All right. So this is the website we're looking at. It is a beautiful website. This is Trinity Home Care Services, and we can see that they're located in Woodbridge, Virginia. So for this website, also we can see the designer is ProWeaver. Lots of you use ProWeaver, and that's okay, but you need to know what you're getting yourselves into when you buy a website from ProWeaver. So the first thing we're going to do is look at speed for this website. This home care website, we just ran a GTmetrix report. There are lots of other platforms you can use to do this, but you can go to gtmetrix.com and run a speed report. This one, we ran a mobile device. So you can see this is an iPhone. And we even ran it on broadband fast, which is really not as fast as your iPhone is. This is faster, but we're going to go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt. We ran it on a fast broadband connection, and we got a grade of an E. So A is the best, E is the worst, or I guess A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the worst, right? So what this is showing us is that if someone looks at this website from a mobile device, it takes 9.1 seconds for this website to fully load, and that is way too slow. So that means that this website needs some help with speed. Typically, there are two things that will affect your speed. Number one is your hosting platform, who's hosting your website. If it's a slow hosting or you're on shared hosting, you're not going to get speed from that. And how your website is built. So if your website is built with a theme that is sort of just a plop it in there, and everybody gets kind of the same thing with different colors, and no one's really taken a hard look at the back end. It's beautiful, but it's not functional. So those are the things that we really look at. If I go back one, I'm going to go back a screen here, and we look at this. We also ran this on desktop. So I'm going to show you the same thing. Now remember, Google really likes the mobile. Everything is mobile now. So really what matters to Google is how this website performs on mobile. But I'm also going to show you how it performs on an unthrottled connection on Chrome on a desktop. We're going to look at that next. And that would be someone looking at this in a very fast website environment or internet environment. And so we're going to retest this. So while this is loading, I'm going to also, let's go back to the website for a minute. So what I really like about this is I love the colors. I love that everything's available right off the bat. One of the things I would recommend to start is that there's a pop-up. Now I've come to this website already, so it is not popping up, but there is a pop-up, and I'll show you that on our GTmetrix analysis about COVID. You can take that pop-up off now and just put it under About Us, as on your About Us page, or under our services, or somewhere else in here. You can keep your COVID-19 information. That's still important to people, but it doesn't need to be a pop-up anymore. So that will help a little bit with speed. But some of these other things that are happening here, all of this automation or this stuff here, all these different pictures, that is no longer needed either. You don't need to have, it's beautiful, but it's not serving you well because it's slowing down your website tremendously. So let's keep going down. A lot of things that they offer here, that's great. There's even a little video here, which is awesome. Schedule a complimentary assessment now. They have a form here. And then they have service areas covered and all this. So homepage is pretty, it doesn't need all the flashy stuff. It can really be a simple, this can be just one picture and it'll be just as good as all these pictures flashing up here. So let's see if our GT metrics is back. Okay, so here is the desktop report. The desktop report got a C. So right now what it's telling us, and this is the pop-up I'm talking about, you also see this on mobile. This is just going to annoy people now. At first it was really important to have a very loud announcement about how you're taking all the COVID precautions, and now that is not as necessary. You can keep it on your website. You can even have it on your homepage, but you don't need a pop-up like this because people have to click to get past it. And on the mobile device, it takes up the whole screen. So get rid of that. Anyway, so right here we can see that it takes 5.4 seconds for this site to load. It should take 1 second or less for this site to load. And you can see this is kind of called a waterfall. So you can see what the system sees at 1.6, 2.2, 2.7, 3.2, 3.8, all the way through. So you can see that. Now I am going to send this report to the folks over at Trinity. I'm going to send them both the mobile and this desktop report so they can work with their own web developer to fix it. Or of course they could work with us if they like to. All right, so let's keep on going here. We're also going to look at what we call a site audit. And we use SEMrush for this. So we ran a site audit and we're going to look at these errors. Now, SEMrush will tell you that there are 1,410 issues. And sometimes that's not, some of them are not as important as others. So it's going to tell you worst case scenario about everything. It does say 30 incorrect pages found in sitemap. Let's take a look at that. So your sitemap is sort of like the library of all of your web pages. And that's what Google looks at to determine what web pages are good. So these are all, I guess, redirects. And so what this is telling us is that your sitemap either needs to change or your new pages that you have need to be sent over, or you need to take the redirects off or something. I'm not sure exactly what has happened here with 30 incorrect pages. It could be a big deal or it may not be a big deal, but it's something to definitely, and we will send this information over to Trinity just to get that stuff resolved or have their web developer tell them it's fine. So let's go back to the overview and let's look at these 1,400 other issues. And these are all, say, mixed content. And what that means is that they changed over from an HTTP to HTTPS at some point. So now they are on a secure socket layer with their website address, but when they originally built the website, they were not. Or when they originally had all these images, they were not. So they have a lot of images and a lot of things on their website that are still pointing to that unsecure URL. There is a way to go in and just make sure that everything on your website is HTTPS. And if you're on the right hosting, your server provider can instantly make that fix. At least we can from our perspective. We can fix this fast. So there aren't that many. So mixed content means that you're on a secure socket layer, but unfortunately a lot of your images and other things are still pointing to an unsecure website address. It upsets Google. It's not a big deal from our perspective, but it will make Google look at your website like, what? So let's go to warnings. 1,376 links on secure socket layer pages, meaning good, secure, are leading to an HTTP page. And so that is something that needs to be fixed. 48 HTTP URLs in the sitemap for HTTPS site. So these are all of the things that we need to address, and we'll send that over. So once you get your site cleaned up, that's going to help a lot. Once you get it, make it speedier, make it pop up, get rid of some of those images that are changing, get rid of that pop-up thing. That'll help with speed. Let's talk about a few other things. Like I said, the website is beautiful, but if it's not ranking, that's a real problem. So let's look at their content pages. So if we go to private duty nursing, if you find that you are not on the first page of Google for anything, this is why. Most of our home care agencies have this exact issue. And if you switch over from one page to the next, you can see that they've tried to SEO for Woodbridge, Virginia. But this is all the content they have, and that's not going to do. So let me show you what it looks like when you do have enough content. So let's go to someone who's not in their wheelhouse. We'll go to a different website. When you have a services page, you need to make sure this is what you should have. You see all this content? This is over 1,000 words of content for one service. So all the services that you want to list are fine, but each single one of these pages needs to be written in long form, not in a bulleted list. This is not going to compete with the big boys. So for all of you out there who are an independent home care agency, here's the challenge. You're competing with Home Instead Senior Care, you're competing with Home Care Assistants, Visiting Angels, and all the big franchises, Comfort Keepers, Comfort Care, you name it. You guys know all their names. And they have gigantic websites behind them, which are powerful. And they also have a lot of content, especially Visiting Angels. They've made a significant change and upgrade in their content in the last couple of years. So having said that, if you're going to compete with them and you're going to get to the first page of Google, this is not going to compete. You have to have someone write out every single page of this content in long form. We're talking 1,500 words, 1,200 words, more than that if you can do that, with images that are search engine optimized, with, of course, you want to search engine optimize everything. But when you only have a few words on the page, then it's just not going to help you at all. So speed, number one, content, number two. Let's go to the contact us page. Okay, this is the last piece that I'm going to go over. There are lots of other things here that could, maybe could improve. You do not need a resources page anymore. I know everybody wants to have a resources page and be helpful to people. You're the resource. People should be contacting you. You're giving away link juice. Don't do it. You don't really need a resources page anymore. They don't come to you to get other resources. They come to you to get help for their issue that they need right now. They need solved right now. So on this page, there should be a Google Places map. So if I hit View Map and Directions, it does take me to a page that has this, but this should be on your Contact Us page. It should be on a lot of pages on your website. There should also be some reference to this on your Contact Us page besides way down here. So you definitely want to make sure that you have this on your Contact Us page. Now I see it looks like this, I don't know when this website was updated, but originally existed in 2016. So here's what I would say. Content, local town pages, if you can afford to have those added, you should have a Woodbridge page. I think somewhere it says services area covered. So let's look at service areas. See, all of these pages are divided up with a tiny bit of content, but if you put them all together, they would serve you much better. So every single one of these towns should have its own page. And just like your services pages, it should be built out to 1,000 to 1,500 words. It should talk about all of your services, but it should also talk about the cities and counties that you serve. And the other issue here is that these are all big counties, giant counties. People don't search for home care by county, they search for it by town. So if my mom lives in Alexandria, Virginia, in the town of Alexandria, Virginia, I don't search for home care in Alexandria County or Arlington County or Fairfax County. I search for home care in the town in Fairfax County that she actually lives in. I don't care what's going on across the other side of the county. I want someone who lives and works and eats and breathes the same air that she does in her local town. So you need to have town pages. You need to list all the towns that you service. And this is a map of the entire state of Virginia. So you would want to divide this up into the counties that you serve. So those are my marching orders for this client or potential client. If you want to really knock the ball out of the park, speed and content and location. The last thing I'll say is this. The last blog post was around Mother's Day. It looks like, anyway. Blog posting is excellent. It should be done, and it should be done at least twice a week, if not more. And those blog posts need to be at least 500 words. Your pages here should be really long, and these blog posts should complement and link to these internal pages to give them more juice. So little blog posts are sometimes okay, but these with just a little bit of words on them are not going to help you at all. So I would recommend up-to-date content as well. If we take a look at other things like Facebook, Twitter, and I'm not going to do that right now, Facebook and LinkedIn are your two main accounts that are going to be most important for you. Facebook should also be up to date. It should have lots of current content, and that current content should also be reflected on your website. So that is my video today. This is all about home care website development, home care website design, and local SEO for home care. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at asnmarketingplan.com. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.